You picked it up to check one thing, a message. The weather. 30 seconds maybe. That was 2 hours ago. The evening you had plans for is gone, and you can't account for where it went. No memory of deciding to stay. No moment you chose this. That's not weak willpower. That's 3 machines running exactly as designed. Here's what makes this different from every other habit you have. Your phone is the first object in history engineered by thousands of very clever people to defeat your sense of time. Not entertain you, not inform you. It holds you, for as long as mechanically possible, because your minutes are the product being sold. And it works using 3 separate machines layered on top of each other. One borrowed from casinos, one built by deleting a full stop, and one that reaches into how your brain records time itself, so the hours don't just pass, they go missing. Let's open these machines up. At Harvard in the 1950s, the psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something unsettling about reward. He gave pigeons a lever that dispensed food and varied the rules. When every peck paid out, the birds worked steadily. When the reward came unpredictably, sometimes after 3 pecks, sometimes 30, the pecking became relentless, near obsessive. Of every pattern he tested, unpredictable reward produced the most persistent behavior ever measured in his lab. Casinos have run on that discovery for decades. And so does your feed. Every pull to refresh is a lever. Sometimes it pays. A message, a like, something outrageous. And sometimes it's nothing. Your brain can't tell which pull will pay, so it does exactly what the pigeons did. It keeps pulling. The checking isn't a decision anymore. It's a schedule, and you're on it. One machine explains the checking. It doesn't explain why you can't stop once you're in. That's machine 2. For most of history, everything you consumed had an ending. The chapter finished. The episode ended. The newspaper ran out of pages. And at every ending, your brain got a tiny exit ramp, a natural pause where the question could be asked, another one or bed? Then a designer named Asa Raskin invented infinite scroll, and the ending went extinct. He has since said, publicly, that he regrets it, because the feed never finishes. There is no bottom of the page, no final item, no moment where continuing requires a decision. Stopping now demands an act of will at a random mid-flow moment, and your tired evening brain almost never volunteers one. You didn't decide to keep scrolling. You were simply never asked to stop. The exit ramps were removed from the road. And while you're on that road, a third machine is quietly doing the strangest thing of all. It's switching off the clock. Here's the question underneath the whole video. Where do the hours actually go? Your sense of time isn't a clock ticking in the background. It's built from attention. When part of your mind tracks the world, the light changing, your body, the room, those check-ins become time markers, and the evening gets recorded as it passes. Full capture breaks that. A feed engineered to hold your entire attention leaves nothing spare for tracking time, so no markers get laid down. The clock isn't racing, it's off. Then you look up and the shock hits. 2 hours have passed, and your memory has almost nothing filed for them. Not because time flew, because it was never written down. A blank page where the evening should be. Scrolling doesn't just spend your hours, it deletes the record of them. which is why the loss feels less like a choice and more like a burglary. Now run all three at once, because that's what actually happens. The slot machine gets you to pick it up, the deleted full stop keeps you in, and the switched-off clock makes sure you never feel the cost while it's being paid. Hooked, held, and blindfolded, simultaneously. Against that pincer, just use more self-control was never a fair fight. You brought willpower to a machine fight. So here's the turn. Those vanished evenings were never evidence that you're lazy or weak or bad with time. They're evidence that the system works. A system built by rooms full of engineers, refined on billions of people, and pointed at a brain that evolved long before any of it existed. You've been losing a rigged game and blaming yourself for the score. And once you see that, the fix stops being try harder, the one strategy guaranteed to fail against machinery, and becomes something far more practical. Change the machines. Because every one of the three has an off switch. They just don't advertise it. One countermove per machine. Against the slot machine. Kill the unpredictability. Notifications off for everything that isn't a human being. If the lever never lights up, the pull loses its grip. Against the deleted full stop. Put endings back yourself. An alarm before you open the app. A rule of standing while you scroll. Anything that reinstalls the exit ramp the designers removed. Against the dark clock. Keep one anchor in the room. Lamp on, one earbud out. Tea going cold beside you. A thread of attention left outside the screen, so the evening keeps getting recorded while it happens. The hours were never lost. They were taken by machines doing precisely what they were built to do, to a brain that never agreed to the rules. Now you've seen the machinery. It doesn't work as well on people who have. If tonight looked different in your head just now, leave comments down below. Like, subscribe, and send this to the person you were texting at 1 a.m. This is ORIGINIFY, where we undiscover the hidden forces shaping everyday life and uncover the quiet truths behind what it means to be human. I will see you in the next video.